Failure can teach you humility, it can teach you growth, it can teach you wisdom. So when you're presented failure, you can go, right, I can learn humility, I can learn growth, I can learn to be more wise. Struggle can build courage. It can build strength of character. So when you're given struggle in life, you go, right, life's presented me a gift to learn courage. Welcome back to Stoic School, day 5 of 100 with myself, William Mulligan, author of the Everyday Stoic, Simple Rules for a Good Life. It's good to have you back on day 5. Hopefully you enjoyed the previous 4 days. Stoicism is called the guide to the good life. And the idea is once you graduate Stoic School, you'll fully understand the philosophy and how to incorporate it into your life so that you can become a Stoic, which is a fancy way or a cool way of saying you'll be calmer, happier, more confident, more balanced, and all around just the best version of yourself. So if that sounds good, then stick around with Stoic School. Today's episode is powered by Huel. Let's jump into the episode. Today's lesson is on an interesting topic. It's a concept taught by the Stoics that's a less understood concept and requires a bit of studying. It is the concept of the Stoic flame. This is an idea that changed my worldview. It changed the way I think of everything in a positive way. It flipped life on its head, really. And it made me stop seeing problems, difficulties, challenges, rude people. It made me stop seeing the negative, and everything became a challenge, an obstacle, a gift, a way to build me up and improve me in my life. So every challenge is a step up. It's like climbing ladders rather than, normally challenges and difficulties in life are walking down steps, going deeper and deeper into the darkness. Flip the stairs around, and every difficulty, every challenge is a step up these stairs, getting higher and higher, looking down on the beauty of the world, seeing the good in the world, seeing the path. It's a great principle. It's a great idea, great Stoic technique that will improve your life. So, what is the Stoic flame? Well, first of all, in the way we've been brought up, and it's getting worse and worse in modern society, is you go to school and you take a test. And we're all a bit nervous with tests. Why? Because you either pass or you fail. That's it. There's no mid ground. You pass, thumbs up. You fail, thumbs down. And that's everything in life. You get an inspection at work, you pass or you fail, or you do good or you do bad. There's no mid ground. There's no grounds for learning. And that's the thing with tests is I've always thought this, that you shouldn't just fail and then that's bad. And you only get one attempt on most of these tests. So you fail and that's it. You should fail and then the teacher goes, right, here was the weak points. We'll work these out. So next time you do a test, you can work on these weak points. Then you do the test again and go, right, you worked on a lot of those weak points. You've still got one weak point. Work on it, pass, hooray. So you're given the steps, but now there's just a sharp cut. You either pass or you fail. And it leads people to have anxiety and worry. And it leads us actually to have so much fear of failure that we never actually start. And that is why people don't start on their dreams, is because this fear of failure, because it's just cut off. It's black or white. And then if you fail, you're done for. That is not how it should be. You should fail, and then you're excited to work on your losses, work on your failures, work on your weak areas and grow. So I read the story of 3 successful people and show their mindsets, the mindset they have, and I'll relate it to the Stoic flame and teach you how you can also have this mindset and how I have developed the Stoic flame. So number 1 is Edison. And Edison, when he was younger, was described as too stupid to learn anything new. Obviously, Edison went on to become one of the most successful inventors of all time. He revolutionized the modern world. He changed the way we live. Like, because of Edison, we live a completely different world. So he wasn't too stupid to learn something new. And if he had listened to that teacher, whoever said it, he would have never gone on to invent all these amazing things. Edison said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. So this is in relation to his inventions. He failed thousands of times, kept failing, but every time he learned something new and adapted, improved, and overcame these challenges. And if we go back to this black and white way of thinking that we're taught at school, if Edison failed on the first attempt, it would have gone, impossible, can't do it. And that's the way loads of people think. It's actually crazy. They try the business for the first time, fail, doesn't work. Start up a new Instagram page, fail, didn't work. Start up a new, tried to get into art, tried to get into football, tried to become a musician. They go, failed, didn't work. Try something different, or I'll just give up entirely. I won't step outside of my comfort zone anymore because it leads to failure, which is bad. It's not bad. But you got to think it took him, like he said, probably an exaggeration, but 10,000 attempts to get there. And you've already given up on the first attempt for your business or your venture or your dream. It could take you 1,000 attempts. I've been there with writing and filming, The first video you ever seen on this channel was not the first video I ever filmed. I filmed thousands. I filmed many on my own in my room trying to get good on camera. I was very bad on camera. I wasn't good at talking to people. I couldn't make eye contact. Couldn't film myself. Felt so awkward. So I'd read out the meditations aloud on my own. And I'd just, Meditations of Marcus Aurelius. I'd read them out alone and try and improve the way I speak. Because I mumbled, I spoke very unclearly. You wouldn't be able to understand me. I've probably got those videos somewhere. It'd be worth sharing. But before the videos came, I was just speaking to a wall in my room at night. Walt Disney, the man behind Disney, he said, I think it's important to have good, hard failure when you are young because it makes you kind of aware of what can happen to you. Because of it, I've never had any fear in my whole life. When we've been near collapse and all of that, I've never been afraid. And I don't know what your thoughts on Disney are now, but certainly what Walt Disney did was just incredible. What he created is mind-blowing. When you think of all the parks, the films, the billions of dollars, the attractions, the lives that it's touched, I think nearly everyone I know has been affected by a Disney film or a visit to a Disney park or something. Certainly the films, I remember watching the films as a kid and they're ingrained in my mind. And there are loads of people like that. They've referenced Lion King or Mulan or Hercules. Hercules is a good film. Last one, Michael Jordan. He said, Michael Jordan's the greatest basketballer of all time. Most people say that. I don't really care about your opinion on who's the best basketballer because I'm not too invested in basketball. But anyway, it's common for the Michael Jordan's the greatest of all time. He said, I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I have lost almost 300 games. On 26 occasions, I have been entrusted to take the game-winning shots, and I missed. I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. So what makes these people different? It is the Stoic flame. And I'll say one thing is, I learned this from Inky Johnson, who's a motivation speaker, a huge inspiration to me. When I was younger, working on building sites, I was listening to Inky Johnson with my brothers. He was one of the biggest inspirations to why we started our business. He's just an all-around great guy, really positive guy. And I remember when I met him, his aura, his energy is just incredible. I've never actually met anyone like him since either. Just an incredible human. But he was saying that the thing that separates successful people from non-successful people is they see their life as a journey. So it's not a destination. It's not just you're here, then there. It's the journey. And it's like I was saying about steps. Every difficulty, every challenge is a step up if you let it allow yourself to make it a step up, or it can knock you down. So the journey is, if tomorrow you face great difficulty, then that's part of your journey. It may take a week to overcome, may take a day to overcome, may take a year to overcome. But that's just part of your journey towards growing to become the person that you're going to be, or the person you're destined to be if you believe in destiny. A quick word from our sponsor, Huel. I really like Huel. When I was writing my book, I was using Huel to power me through every single day. When I had my daily greens, when I had my meals, when I had my shakes, it stopped me from going to the shop, buying a load of rubbish, buying a load of unhealthy food, wasting loads of money. And these things do add up. Those quick journeys to the shop every day, the money adds up, the unhealthy foods add up, the wasted time adds up. So if I ever get those cravings, I grab a Huel and it fills my cravings. I feel good, it tastes delicious, it's quick and easy. And if you have any interest in the Huel products, then check the link in the description. Let's get back to the episode. So, the Stoic flame. and this is what the Stoics seen, is you think of a flame, small flame, and you throw wood onto it, you throw paper onto it, you're throwing these obstacles at it. The wood, the paper, it's all obstacles. But the flame sees it as fuel. So you imagine that wood and all this is obstacles in our life, and you're throwing it onto the fire, and the fire doesn't go out. It actually consumes these obstacles, consumes them all. And then eventually whatever's standing in the way, the flame doesn't just die there. It doesn't wilt away. It engulfs the obstacle, engulfs this thing. And the bigger the challenge, the bigger the obstacle, the more the fire grows. It becomes a roaring blaze and grows bright. It shines bright. And that is the thing with humans. And that is the way we should be. When we're presented a difficulty, we should see it as fuel for our fire to grow, and the bigger the difficulty. And this is something that gets me through great difficulty right now, and it has for many years since learning about this Stoic principle, is I think this challenge, when I'm presented with a challenge and it makes me want to give up, I just think, wow, when I get over this, when I burn this up, when I engulf it, I'm going to be such a changed man. I'm going to be so much bigger than I am. I'm going to be so much wiser and more courageous and brave. I'm going to learn so much from this. And even with something that's so confusing, I can't wrap my head around it. I just think when I get over this, when I keep putting in the effort and I get past this, my wisdom, a challenge like this can be presented again and it'll be so easy. And every obstacle that's smaller than this will just be easy. You're building up as this huge roaring blaze. And some good examples of this, very minor examples, is you can take something and rather than seeing the bad and the difficulty, you see the benefit from it. So being stuck in traffic, and this is how you can build your flame. Being stuck in traffic. Most people being stuck in traffic, it gets thrown onto their fire and it puts them out. They go, oh, I'm stuck in traffic. This is rubbish. I'm going to be late. Oh, I hate life. Why am I stuck in traffic? Being stuck in traffic can build patience. Rude people can build compassion and also patience, because you can practice patience. You go, life's given me a rude person to practice patience and compassion. This is good. This is how I learn my compassion. Failure can teach you humility, it can teach you growth, it can teach you wisdom. So when you're presented failure, you can go, right, I can learn humility, I can learn growth, I can learn to be more wise. Struggle can build courage. It can build strength of character. So when you're given struggle in life, you go, right, life's presented me a gift to learn courage. And going back to when I first ever learned about Stoicism, this is my entrance in Stoicism. And you can read this in my book, but I'll explain it shortly. I was in a very bad place. I was working a job earning less than minimum wage. I don't know if this makes sense to the Americans. I was earning £20 a day, and then I spent £7.80 on bus fare. So I'm coming out with £12.20. Is that right? Yeah, £12.20, which is nothing. And I was getting up before 5, getting to the bus stop at 6, waiting for on the bus for an hour, and then I'd get to my destination, wait there for the other bus, and then I'd arrive at work for like 7:30 maybe. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. And then I'd work like until like 8 till late, or whatever it was. And then I'd do the same, catch the long buses home. And I'd get home at like 7, so I'm getting up early, just long. And I was earning £12.20, and I didn't like the place. Anyway, and it was difficult work. I was working as hard as I could, because I always do. It's just a character thing. And I remember my mum, actually, she said to me, she had books, loads of books. There were books on, she ran a drug rehabilitation center, so it was books on psychology and drugs and that kind of thing. And my mum said to me, says, look, you're going to be sat on these buses for a long time. Instead of being miserable on the bus, she said it in a nice face, very nice. She said, why don't you just use it as a chance to read? And that was one of the greatest gifts life could ever present me. Because now I had all this hours to read books, and I never read before. I didn't like reading. And it was a great gift. Nothing changed, just a perspective. So that was actually my entrance in Stoicism. I started reading, and then I stumbled across the Meditations. That's a story for another day. So to be like the Stoic flame, you have to see every difficulty and obstacle that life throws at you as a gift. You have to see what's on the other side of the coin. You can look at the negative, or you can flip it around and look at the positive. But to get to the positive does take effort. But you have to go, life has presented me a difficulty. Great. Life has also presented me a gift to grow. Hopefully that clears up any confusion on what the Stoic flame is. And if you want to practice the Stoic flame, you want to become the big roaring blaze, just have that in mind. Always see the other side of the coin. Say, what gift is life presenting me? Even when you feel like giving up, you feel like crying, say, what gift is life presenting me? Well, I feel like crying, I feel like giving up. Life's given me a great opportunity to learn courage and strength of character. I feel like giving up. Life's teaching me how to not give up. And then the next time we're presented with a difficulty like this, I won't give up. That's why there's these great, strong characters in life. They've been through great difficulties and made it through the other end. And then when other difficulties are presented to them, they're so calm. I've met people like this where you're like, how are you calm? And that's where we aim to be. So that is it for day 5 of 100 Stoic School. A new lesson on Stoicism every single day, so that by the time you start to get to episode 100, or how you get a bit further in, you start to understand Stoicism, you start to understand how to incorporate it into your life to live the good life. I want to share this because when I was young, I was not in a good place. I was lost, I felt powerless, I felt weak, and it took me a long time to understand Stoicism, and Stoicism got me out of that. It gave me strength, it gave me light. And it took me a long time because I didn't know how to read all these ancient texts, and I didn't even know how to understand these ancient texts. So it took ages to incorporate it into my life. But hopefully I've condensed it into these lessons in a manner that's so easy to understand. So I've done all the work, I've done all the groundwork, so it should be easy for you. And thank you for listening. If you've been here since day 1, thank you for sticking around. If you just got here, maybe visit the old episodes. And if you want to support what I'm doing, then please, it's free. Give me a like, give me a comment, subscribe. Subscribe will be good. If you listen to some streaming platforms, then give a follow. And if you really want to help, give me a rating on Spotify. I really appreciate the ratings, really do help. And if you want to help beyond measure, and I'll be eternally grateful, and I suppose someone else might be eternally grateful, you could change your friend's life, introduce a friend to Stoic School. I believe Stoicism, I know it can change people's lives, and I think I've developed a way to teach these lessons in manageable chunks, understandable chunks. So it's not just this thing that's hard to understand. You could change someone's life, and you support me. So thank you very much, and I hope you have a wonderful day.